There's this really cool book that my wife and I read, I want to say like right around the time that our baby was born. And it's called Hunt, Gather, Parent, and it's about, it was written by a journalist who wanted to find out, why these families that she had been exposed to internationally, why they had such just ridiculously helpful, mature kids, in contrast to her own child, who at the time was maybe 3 or 4, and very difficult, just not, the relationship they had was very combative. And she, in reporting some other stories, I think she'd been exposed to these other families who had these wonderful children, and she's like, how is this possible? These kids that just kind of voluntarily do chores without being told, and go to bed on their own without any sort of fights and all this stuff. Anyway, it's just one aspect of the book I wanted to talk about, and that was that through that experience, one of the things she recommends is to integrate your children into your life as an adult, as opposed to keeping them separate and having this is adult world over here, and over here is child world, and they are separate, and they do separate activities, and they're just kind of different worlds, right? That's how we commonly do it. We have things that kids do, the types of things that they do for fun, the types of things that they do that are kind of like chores or whatever, but everything is totally separate. They do kid things that the adults aren't really interested in doing, right? And she posits, based on this experience, looking at really indigenous cultures, in the jungle in Mexico, and then up in northern Canada with, I don't think they were Inuit, I'm not sure, I don't remember. But anyway, these families, the kids were always there with the adults when the adults were doing adult activities. They were part of daily life. So if you had work to do as an adult, around the house, if you had to be making food for the family, whatever, your kid was with you and part of the process as much as they could be. You have a little kid, and they're there with you, and they may not be very good at the task, but you patiently allow them to acquire the skills necessary to be a part of your adult world, and they are very well tuned to that. They want it. They want to be adults. Kids want to be big. They don't want to stay in kid land. They want to do big kid stuff, right? And so she suggests to, as much as you can, integrate them into your world, integrate them into your work, integrate them into your interests, bring them along into your life. And I really liked it. I relate to that, and I think it's a really good idea. So, in thinking about how to kind of plan or design a life, trying to be intentional about it, I was wondering, how can I design a lifestyle that really works well with that paradigm, with having your kids with you? What kinds of work are good for kids to do and to learn? And I think there could be a lot of different answers there, but I couldn't help but come back to the conclusion that working exclusively on a computer probably isn't the best job. There's just no way a kid can help you when you're working on your computer. It's not conducive to that kind of that kind of help. And it's not really what I want to do around my kids. I want them to learn physical skills from me. I want them to learn social skills from me. I want them to learn problem solving and critical thinking and things like that. And just being on my laptop, it's not great. And I don't think they'll be working on a laptop, or a desktop in the same way that I am when they are adults and in the workforce. I think by then the technology will change, will have changed sufficiently enough that, I'm not really dying to teach them the skills that I have on the computer yet. It's just not where my head's at. So I'm just trying to think of what kind of activities would be really good. What would ideal be like for me? What could I really want to bring them along on and show them and have them be modeling after me? I don't have an answer for you. It's a question, Hey, I'll ask you, what types of work out there can you bring a little kid with you and have them observe and assist as best they can and just be a part of? I am open to suggestions. Anyway, that's it. That's just what I'm thinking about right now. And I'm going to keep thinking about it. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.